In post-war Japan, families brought their newborns to a trusted midwife. She was meant to save lives, not end them, but instead of cradling hope, she allowed tragedy to unfold. By the time her secret was exposed, an alarming number of infants had lost their chance at life. This is a chilling story of Miyuki Ishikawa, a woman once seen as a caregiver who became one of Japan's most notorious offenders. Born on February 5, 1897, in the quiet village of Honjo, also spelled Kanetomi, in Miyazaki Prefecture, Miyuki Ishikawa's journey began far from the bustle of Tokyo. She came from a family well enough off to give her an education rare for most rural girls of her time. By 1914, following her high school years, Ishikawa ventured to Tokyo, the heart of opportunity, where she enrolled at the prestigious University of Tokyo. Picture the moment, a young woman stepping off a train into the smoky, chaotic energy of pre-war Tokyo. Bright lights, crowded streets, and the towering facade of Japan's finest university rising ahead. At that moment, her future was being written. 4 or 5 intense years, she immersed herself in medicine and midwifery, studying under demanding instructors, mastering the art of delivery, learning to monitor heartbeats, support mothers in labor, and safeguard fragile new life placed in her hands. Finally, on September 30th, 1919, she graduated, with papers in hand. The title of midwife officially hers. Miyuki stood at the threshold of a profession that would shape her public reputation. That same year, she married Takashi Ishikawa, a former Kenpitai sergeant from Ibaraki Prefecture. Their marriage produced no biological children. Miyuki had previously undergone a hysterectomy, but together they raised Takashi's son from a previous marriage and adopted 3 more children. Their home became both a personal sanctuary and the unofficial headquarters of their growing medical enterprise. Miyuki's skills and ambitions expanded. She didn't just tend to births. She managed the Kotobuki maternity home, assumed leadership roles in midwives associations, and advocated for her standing within Japan's medical hierarchy. She was no longer merely a caregiver. She had become a respected figure in her field. Her credentials and demeanor weren't accidents. They were the stage for what would come next, the transformation that would turn a trusted midwife into a national controversy. What investigators didn't know yet was that the very reputation that earned her trust would later shield unthinkable decisions. In 1945, Japan had just emerged from the devastation of World War II. Cities lay in ruins. Food was scarce. Families lived in poverty so severe that survival itself became a daily battle. Hospitals were overwhelmed. Many families could not afford to raise children. And in that desperation, they turned to a woman who appeared to be their savior, Miyuki Ishikawa, a respected midwife at Kotobuki Maternity Hospital in Tokyo. She had the training. She had the trust. But beneath the surface, Ishikawa carried a belief that would twist her medical oath into something dark. As the crisis deepened, struggling parents began leaving their newborns in her care. Some pleaded for help. Others hoped the hospital would step in. But Ishikawa made a chilling choice. She did not intervene. She allowed severe neglect to occur, believing, and later arguing in court, that she was sparing the children from a life of suffering in extreme poverty. Over time, her inaction became systematic. It was not one child, not a handful, but dozens. Eventually, the number was estimated to be over 100, with some reports suggesting close to 200. These were not sudden tragedies. They were repeated, preventable losses, a pattern of deliberate non-action carried out by someone trusted to protect the most vulnerable. But the truth would surface in a way no one expected, and it began with a routine visit by 2 police officers. January 1948. Tokyo remained scarred by the war. Streets crowded, families desperate, hardship everywhere. 2 police officers were conducting what was supposed to be a simple check at a local mortician's office. Nothing unusual was expected, just paperwork, just another cold afternoon. But what they found inside changed the entire investigation. Behind shelves and ledgers, the officers discovered small, carefully wrapped bundles. Inside were the remains of 5 infants whose deaths had not been properly documented. The officers knew instantly this was no ordinary situation. An immediate investigation followed. The mortician confessed that these infants had not died naturally under medical care. They had been delivered directly to him from hospital staff, not once, but repeatedly, with payments made to quietly handle the remains. The trail led directly to Kotobuki Maternity Hospital. When detectives arrived, they found signs of widespread neglect. Empty cribs, missing records, hastily written certificates, a shocking absence of proper documentation. The more they searched, the more tragic the scale became. This was not a cluster of isolated incidents. It was a mass pattern. Detectives soon connected everything to Miyuki Ishikawa, her husband Takashi, and a doctor who assisted them. But the most shocking part was yet to come. The courtroom battle that outraged an entire nation. Ishikawa and her accomplices were arrested. In court, Miyuki Ishikawa showed little visible remorse. She defended her actions by claiming the parents were too impoverished to care for the infants and that intervention would not have changed their fate. She framed her inaction as a flawed form of mercy. The court, however, rejected her justification. She was convicted, but the sentence shocked the public more than the verdict. Despite the staggering number of preventable losses tied to her decisions, Ishikawa received just 8 years in prison. Her husband received 4. And then it got even lighter. After appeal, their sentences were reduced, making her time behind bars shorter than anyone expected. For many families, the outcome felt devastatingly inadequate. Upon her release, Ishikawa faded from public life. Records of her later years are scarce, but her actions left a permanent mark on Japanese society. The case pushed the government to strengthen child welfare laws, ensuring that oversight improved and neglected infants could not slip through systemic cracks again. To the public, she had once been a midwife, a guardian of new beginnings. But behind closed doors, she became something else entirely. A woman who allowed the most fragile lives to slip away. A woman who stood by in silence when intervention could have saved many. A woman who decided, in her own mind, which lives would be given a chance. Before you go, help push this story further. Smash the like button and show the algorithm people still care about real true crime reporting. And if you want more cases like this, broken down clearly and respectfully, subscribe and ring the bell. A new story drops soon, and it's even more shocking.